Welcome to Go Home Heat, a wrestling podcast. We are talking, this is actually an NXT podcast, and we are going to talk NXT because it's an NXT podcast. Justin.
Yes, sir.
Ready to go?
I'm here.
Let's
Locked
go.
in.
Start off with Kushida, Leon Ruff versus The Way, Johnny Gargano, and Austin Theory. You know how we started this thing off?
With a match?
With wrestling. It
Really?
was crazy.
Not,
Yes.
Not a 10-minute monologue of a Gimp masked?
No, burned people yet. Okay, a first round Dusty Classic we have here. Theory manhandles the slender Ruff for a little bit early. Ruff gets away. Then we get the face locks, and Kushida gets in, and the dueling elbow locks, and Johnny Gargano. It's so good what they do.
It's just top notch. All of them.
When Gargano gets in, it's fists and it's knees to the kidneys and it's stomps.
Theory's an athletic prodigy, dude. He's just,
yes.
You know, his attitude kind of like, I don't know if I'd ever want to hang out with that guy in real life because I think that's kind of who he is.
Mm-hmm.
But he's going to be a superstar unless he just does something ridiculous, which I could see happening.
Mm-hmm.
But and Leon Ruff, he is a revelation. I am sorry, that dude.
I
know
never thought
Vince
he would be.
I know Vince McMahon's never going to give this dude a push, and he should always stay in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to wear pants instead of the bag, little slightly too baggy
He's got
shorts.
very slender legs.
Yes, but he's athletically amazing. The stuff he does in the ring, his grace, his agility, his ability to be in the right position. He's that dude for how short of a period of time he's been in the business. I'm amazed.
He utilizes his quickness in his entire body the same way Cole does kicks.
Yes.
They're jabs.
Uh-huh.
If he hits a guy with a cross body, he's going to bounce up and immediately do a drop kick. Bounce up, immediately do a flying forearm.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately, everything happens quickly. Needed kick. You know, it's all quick and it's fast, and he's quick enough that he can throw his whole body at you and pop up and do it again, which is a jab.
And he's always linking. He's always move to move
right.
to move to move to move to move.
Which is why I call it a jab and not a punch.
Yeah,
you know
it's
what
not
I mean?
a one-shot pause. It's let me.
Well, and he has to. He's
I'm small.
probably 120 pounds.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I mean? But it does allow him to be competitive. Now, you wouldn't want to put him in there with Bronson Reed, somebody like that. But when you get him in there with a guy that's around about 200, you can kind of tell these stories, especially in a tag team environment where he can crawl away, you know?
Yeah.
And
you should show this to our buddy Nate, who's like about the same size as Leon Ruff, and say, see, Nate, you could have been a pro wrestler.
Nate's got a little bit of that spider monkey to him, too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then Gargano begins to dissect again. I thought for sure there was no way The Way was going to lose this match.
I was convinced.
And then Kushida finally gets that last tag. His hot tags were good in this.
Oh, yeah, dude.
He's the best. And he hits a suplex into a side slam into an armbar.
It was sick, dude.
To finish this thing off.
So
and
sick.
Post-match, Ruff does some sort of a flip onto Theory outside. No, that's not post-match.
No, that was to keep Theory out of the mix for the second,
Yeah, that was the finish itself. Correct. This was really, really entertaining.
Yes, it was fun.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, and a good way to start a show.
Yeah, it got me hyped.
It wasn't a promo, which is the way to start a show.
No.
But if you don't have somebody in a Gimp mask, this is pretty
I guess
good.
it's pretty good.
You're right, correct. Pete Dunne, edited film promo. We're cut from the same cloth, me and you, Finn Balor. And, you know, I built NXT UK on my back. That is my legacy. You have jumped in on other people's legacy throughout your career.
Started Bullet Club.
And he actually owned his own wrestling company before he went to Japan.
Yeah.
But that being said, I get where he was coming, and I do like the fact that every time somebody gets into something with Finn, they do acknowledge that he is in the fan eye the measuring stick.
Yeah.
No, what they have not done in these title matches is act like one another isn't worthy of being there.
No, I've liked that. I've really enjoyed that.
There is a Ring of Honor style.
Yes, respect.
I
don't like you, but I acknowledge your skills.
Right, and it's going to be a long day.
Yeah.
When we match up. Right. Bivens the manager, is backstage talking, and Tyler Rust comes out of Regal's office and has booked himself a match with Bronson Reed, much to Mr. Bivens' chagrin. But, hey, I'm with you, buddy. Let's go get him. But he wouldn't have booked that. I think he said that wasn't the direction I would have gone.
Yeah, not where I started.
Right. The biggest dude out here. Karrion Kross, Scarlet entrance. I love it. Fall and Pray. I always love their entrance. Get you pumped up. Kross has got Ashante the Adonis.
He's dropped the, I believe.
Oh, did he?
I think so.
Good call on his part. It's a little arrogant to not think that there could be another Adonis.
Yes.
What if I'm in the room?
Wow.
Okay. And so, anywho, what's the name of the tag part? Desmond Troy is on the outside. And this is squash, which is fine. We get a...
I'm not the Saito suplex. I'm not fine with this. Why is I get that he's got some ring, like he needs to be in matches right now. He needs to be in matches to get back in ring shape. He doesn't need to be. I'm talking about Kross, obviously.
Right.
He doesn't need to be squashing people. This dude was the champ. Why is he squashing people now? Why isn't he wrestling people?
Well, I think he hasn't really been in there with somebody good yet.
That's my point. Why is he starting with junk? Not that they're junk, but they're not compared to where he was on the card. They're low.
I get where you're going. I get what you're saying. And it does make sense that you would want him to have some extensive work.
And he didn't even get a match here with Adonis, who could have given him a match. I mean, he could
at least a little bit. You could
wrestled from under.
Right, so two suplexes and then an elbow to the head, and it was over.
Which is kind of I don't know if that's a flashy enough finisher, but it sure is legit. If that dude came got a 10-yard run up and put an elbow in the back of your head, buddy, you'd go to sleep.
Well, I think at one time that suplex was his finisher.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, they added that onto it, and like you said, it looks like for sure it'd put you to sleep. I mean, you'd be disoriented as all get out once he slammed you. Come up, and you get elbow to the back of the head. That'd be all she wrote.
That'd be done.
But then he winds up putting Desmond Troy in the straitjacket right after that. So that's pretty good. But like you said, I do get what you're saying. It may be as simple as they're waiting on somebody to come free. Because I don't think they want Bronson to lose right now. And Damian hasn't been on TV since he lost to him.
I think he's going to show up on SmackDown or somewhere else now.
Right. Now, he did have a match with Damian.
That
was a little bit of a match.
Yeah.
It was one of the better ones.
It was.
He's been in. Right. Okay, MSK is just happy to be here, and they do a little promo backstage, and that was fine. Tony Storm and Mercedes are going to beat the snot out of these people, so they think later.
Dun, dun, dun.
Imperium. Bartel and Fabian Eichner versus Lucha House Party, Lindsay Eldorado, and Graham. Again, I 100% thought I knew the result of this.
Yes, I loved it.
And it was a fantastic match.
Good God. You had great, the old saying, styles make fights. You had the clashing styles here. It was perfect. The story to tell was, Imperium with their, mat-centered technical ability versus
respect the mat. The mat is a holy ground. And then you have Lucha House Party, who's barely ever even on the mat.
Yeah.
And Grand Metalik is crazy. And you know what, too? Since the Lucha House Party has gotten to come back to NXT, their matches have not been comedy related as much.
No.
And they did have a couple matches recently on the bigger shows like that. But it has been aggressive luchador wrestling, fun, but not comedy.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing I think WWE's fallen into a lot of the times with the luchadors is because they are so exciting, they think it needs to be funny and fun instead of recognizing that it needs to be.
And here they seem to be righting their wrongs with both kind of redefining who Lucha House Party is, along with
Legado del Fantasma,
who is a different style.
Yes.
Right? And so then, and I couldn't believe Imperium takes over in the middle of it with the Euro domination style stuff. Grand Metalik does the top rope Kinrada moonsault onto the floor. Lindsay Eldorado super kick on Barthel, and then the shooting star press. We get the 1, 2, 3. They just bounced the number 1 seed from this tournament. And to further tell a story, Imperium walks away somewhat ashamed And then they lock eyes with Alexander Wolf, who, according to Theory, they didn't realize was there, and he seems to be furious with it. So then you have another. Now, do we take them back to NXT UK, have Walter be furious with them, and then they run roughshod over that program for a little while?
I want Walter in the United States. I want Walter. When I saw what's his name? Wolf.
When you saw Alexander Wolf,
I thought
Walter's coming right behind it.
Yeah. And I was like, I want that. I want that. And put it in my veins.
Right. Okay, then we have a weigh-in where Ciampa's 201 and Thatcher's 225, and then they push and shove, which is how these things go. Beth Phoenix intros the Dusty Cup, talks up the NXT Women's Wrestling, deservedly so.
Yes.
They have a wall full of the
greats,
the past greats of the company there. And then it looks like we have 8 teams.
And then they had Carmella up there, too.
I will say, when you consider where Carmella has come from, if you don't want to say she is a great, you could say her journey has been great.
Yeah, I could say that.
Yeah. But, okay, so we get Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter versus Toni Storm and Martinez. And again, I got Storm and Martinez walking through them.
Knew the answer here. And I was wrong, and I love it.
And we get a banger of it's 2 singles competitors versus a legitimate tag team. And in the WWE lore, it almost always seems like the 2 singles competitors win. Both Toni and Martinez are contenders for the title, and Katz and them withstand all of the punishment.
EO helps them out with a little bit
until EO jumps Martinez, throws her over the thing, which is legitimate because Martinez had jumped her the week before. And so probably a Martinez EO will be a main event of one of these next couple of episodes. And Katz and Carter take advantage of this through their perseverance. And I thought Carter wrestled beautifully. I thought Katz did many things that again, she is somebody I never could take seriously, and suddenly she feels like Leon Ruff.
Yeah, well, she's a phenomenal athlete.
Maybe even better than, yeah. And then she does, I don't know what on earth this was.
I'm going with a 630 reverse senton. Somehow she started out facing one way, and I have no idea, and I watched this move a couple times, how she ends up landing the way she does.
The announcer just blurted out, "Holy hell."
Yeah. Because it was like, that is ridiculous.
Just ridiculous. Oh, my God. And then they get the pin.
Somewhere Neville is going, just clapping.
Right. The only thing about that move is I'm 100% sure she has no idea where she's landing.
I don't know,
There's
dude.
Just so much going on.
I would give her a little bit of credit, but I want to see if she can pull it off a couple times in a row and it looks the same, I'll believe it.
Right. Champion Finn Balor marches into the greatest GM in the history of GM's office.
Except no substitutes.
No, he's the best. And he says, "Hey, man, I want to fight them both." And William Regal's like, "You're not going to fight them both. That's silly." And then he says, "I don't have any friends around here. You know me. That's the old me with friends. I don't have friends." And to which Regal replies, "Keep your enemies closer." Great advice. Finn is off looking for an enemy to keep close. Bronson is getting some advice from Swerve Scott, which is probably not really advice.
No. Stay out of my business.
Katz and Carter get a quick interview, and they are over the moon, and they should be. And then we get Malcolm Bivens escorting Tyler Rust to the ring for a match with Bronson Reed. He does pretty doggone good until he walks into a Samoan drop and a
tsunami.
Now, there is a split screen part there where Io and Tony fight backstage a little bit, but then they go back to the tsunami. This match wasn't great. Tyler still needs some work. He has done some good stuff, but he feels, and I don't mean this in a bad way, he feels like he's still a bit of an indie guy. But they'll get that out of him. But when he loses, I thought the takeaway here was Bronson is still ascending to whatever he's going to be here, And Bivens didn't seem worried one bit about the bump in the road there. He
used it as a learning. He's like, do you see why you need me?
Right.
This is why you need me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not going to put you in that position. I'm going to get you in positions to win.
To be successful.
And
I agree.
then when you're ready for that challenge, I'll put that in front of you. But you don't know yet. I love it. I
thought this was well done. The ending was well done, and I do think that the match was exactly what it needed.
It served a purpose.
Correct. Now then,
you know what doesn't serve a purpose though? The stupid lizard
on his shoulder.
Yes,
it's like a fur lizard or like a stuffed lizard.
It's like the worst fake lizard I've ever seen. I get
it is not Godzilla.
No,
which I'm thinking that's what we're implying.
I don't know what it is, but I know that I don't know if his daughter gave it to him or something, and he's wearing it. That's understandable. I would be cool with that. But if you went back there and said, "I want to wear this lizard," as I go to the ring.
Okay. Well, Finn has found. He says trends. Finn has trends that toe him. I can't do.
You can't do his accent.
No, it's thick. It is thick. But anyway, he's got somebody that owes him a favor. He's going to go see him. Escobar, looking spectacular in a gold suit, walks down to
those dudes never look
ring
bad.
Right, and he runs down all the other champions, talking about what it really takes to be a champion. He mentions that which he may get a beating put on him pretty soon, because he mentions
he could put Karrion Kross name in his mouth.
Couldn't even get a title defense under his belt without hurting himself.
I see. When I heard that, I was fully expecting the music to hit.
Yeah, right.
I was, and here's the thing: if you got real plot continuity here, Priest ran his mouth and got dropped.
Mm-hmm.
He should get dropped next.
But instead, he's beginning to tell us about how he's run through everybody and that Raul and Joaquin have won their first match in the Dusty Cup. If you don't know, the Dusty Cup is also on the network. I just kind of realized that. We just watched... we'll get there.
Yeah.
Okay, and so anyway... Number one, a cruiserweight title contender named Kurt Stallion comes running out after
Lucha House Party.
Lucha House Party runs out and attacks, and we get a bit of a brawl, and Kurt Stallion helps them clear the ring and hold the ring. And
we don't get the greatest team up ever, Lucha House Party, Karrion Kross team up. But
dude, those guys would be so on the same page.
Yes.
Drake Maverick is best friend, and his best friend has his back. He's never had that before.
Doesn't have his phone number.
He was what? Dane, Killian Dane says, good promo. I'll see you next week. And to which he wants to know, Drake wants to know his phone number. But we'll go on. Finn walks into the Undisputed Era's dressing room and tells O'Reilly, basically, you know what's going on. You want to fight with me against these guys? And he's like, sure, and I'm all for it. And this is not a New Japan Pro Wrestling team-up thing. No matter what you may think.
No, totally not.
That is not what this is.
Totally not.
And we move on to the fight pit, and we get a fantastic main event. I liked it. I loved it.
Both guys do what they do best. Ciampa concentrates on the strikes and the hitting.
Did you call when you saw that there were gaps in the corners of the ring that something was going to happen there?
I figured there would be some use of that, but I didn't know how they would make it.
Right. And so what winds up, like I said, this is fantastic. It's brutal. They multiple physicality moves. They both are great at both submission, mat wrestling, and all these other things, and we get all of that. I think what's important here is that many times in this match, the pro wrestler Ciampa did things that would have pinned Thrasher in a 3 count.
Mm-hmm.
But because the rule is a 10 count, Thrasher was able to survive. Thrasher.
You're saying it like he probably says his name because he has a tooth in the middle of his face.
Half of a tooth.
Yes.
He's got half a tooth. Don't discredit
Timothy Thrasher.
Right. So, yeah, but he really, that I think is an important aspect of this.
Mm-hmm.
That they focus that this is his match. And you have Ciampa finish him a couple times, but it doesn't work because of the 10 count.
Yeah.
Right. I thought that was well done.
It was just well booked.
Now, how did they wind up getting his leg caught up in that area?
I think he went for did he miss a kick and go through?
He misses a kick, goes through, and then Thatcher winds up getting one leg behind his head while the other one is caught behind. It looked horrible what he had him in.
Oh, that muffler? Yeah.
Yeah, and you have, Ciampa's already got a surgically repaired knee, and he winds up having to give because there's no way out. I mean, there's nothing he can do. He has to give.
He has a tap on that one.
And he crumbles to the bottom of the ring.
We get the respect stare.
And they stare at each other with respect. And lo and behold, on 205 Live, which they're airing the Dusty Classic, both men and women's, on 205 Live on WWE Network right now, we have them as tag team partners go over Nice and Daivari.
Uh-huh.
And we have got a match in the Dusty Classic coming up in round 2 of
Undisputed Era versus Thatcher and Ciampa.
Roddy Strong,
Uh-huh.
Adam Cole, Timothy Thatcher, Tommaso Ciampa.
That's three out of 4 of that is Ring of Honor royalty right there.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing that they figured out a way to just get that in real quick.
Mm-hmm.
You also have the Lucha House Party versus Legado
Del Fantasma.
Correct. I didn't want to butcher it. Why stop now, right?
Why stop now?
Right. And this, I am excited about this.
Oh, it's got a lot of
both
potential.
aspects of it. This is a fun time for this show. And
Uh-huh.
the women's thing too. When I saw 8 teams up there, I was very excited about that too, because I feel like
4 teams is not really a tournament.
yeah, that's like I don't want to say that's like college football, which isn't really a tournament either. But I don't know that with college football it would matter. But because it's college football, usually to me, there's 4 good teams. There's usually 4 really good teams, and everybody else is kind of okay, But this is great to me, this whole thing. And then I love what's going on with Dunn and Finn. I love what's going on with anything Escobar's in. I enjoy just the only thing that's really questionable right now, like you said, was why isn't Cross getting better matches? But I don't doubt that they'll come. And so this was a great week. Great,
excellent.
What a great show. Yeah. We love NXT. For Justin, for me, KP, thank you for listening. Go Home Heat Production, copyright 2021.
Peace.
Go on home.